Hello and welcome back to the 2021 Windy River Open Classic here at Columbia Disc Golf Course. Cover sponsors is brought to you by Flight Towel, Upper Park Disc Golf, and of course Resistance Discs. I'm back in the booth with my good friend James Moore. How's it going tonight, James?
Pretty good. How's everyone doing tonight?
So after a rough front nine for myself, I am finding myself 3 over par, but you're at 2 down, Kevin's at 2 down, and Crabtree and Brian are at 4 down, battling at the top.
Hole 10, double Mando, par 4, 582 feet, with a slight tailwind. Actually, not even slight. Pretty good tailwind. I think the play is just to try to throw pretty close to the Mando trees. I mean, I don't see this hole being super attackable. Maybe some crazy roller that got super lucky.
Yeah, with the double Mando so far down there, it's really ambitious to try and attack it off the tee. So I really like Kevin's there with a nice flip up. But yeah, you see a lot of kind of like spike hyzer plays that you went with, like the high spike, just to make sure that this doesn't get away from you. Brian throwing the lefty flick, but man, there's something about his forehands that really mimic a right-handed backhand throw. Like his flicks flip
I felt like
and
he was playing right-handed the whole round.
yeah, he's throwing our lines as a lefty, which is super cool to see. Love that. I put my destroyer kind of in the middle, but it's not an automatic birdie from there. Still got to navigate these trees. Yeah, Crabtree with a forehand just gets caught up on the left. What are you throwing there?
I'm throwing the Cayman.
Oh,
Champ Cayman. Just try to get her somewhat close and not long. I mean, if you go long on this, it's pretty much no putt because there's like this crazy fallen branch or grown branch or whatever it was that you have.
See it, through the chains there.
No putt.
Nothing.
In the back.
Yeah, if you are past this basket on that side, you have very little chance to make it. I was kind of torn between a mortar and a Firebird, kind of that awkward distance. I decided to try and push my mortar, and I flip it over into the rough on the left. So kind of another missed opportunity. Just not really playing the kind of golf I like. And Kevin, man, that was headed right towards the basket.
Held on to it a little too long.
Yeah. And it does the same again. Gets a nice kiss.
Little tree love.
Here's where Kyle and I ended up. Just by this bush. Kyle gives it a run. I give it a run. No chains found.
Laying in the dirt.
Yep. A nice birdie from you. Pretty textbook how to play the hole. Giving the fans the love.
Giving the fans some love.
I love to see that.
Throwing them out there. See, Brian was looking like, where are they at?
Another textbook birdie from Brian. He's making this course look way too easy right now.
Super solid playing by Brian. I mean, man.
Yeah.
Hasn't made too many mistakes coming in, into hole 10. Just playing smart, not really playing too crazy.
Yeah, really just playing the kind of golf you want as the leader of a tournament. Let your competitors make the mistakes and just keep playing your game. So
I would say Brian was the favor coming into this tournament. Home course.
Yeah, he's a local guy out here in the Kennewick area. But
his dad is Marty Cook, local legend. I would say one of the founding fathers.
Yeah. But he's got some competition on this card. We're just myself and you just aren't quite showing up so far, but Brian Cook extends his lead to 3 on Crabtree and 4 on Kevin. Here we are, hole 11, another par 4. This one's a little more open. You're just trying to play a nice hyzer right to where you threw it. So you're pretty stoked with that shot. That's a perfect place to land.
Emperor.
Great shot.
Throwing the Emperor.
Kevin, again, going lefty flick, but the disc is flying pretty much like yours did, and it gets this nasty roll to the left, and it finds the OB path. Ugh. Not entirely sure what Crabtree's throwing. Maybe something like a force, but lands in a good area right on top of the flat. You can see the disc catcher there in the background. It's kind of in this bowl that is pretty easy to access from where you guys landed. Kevin, early release, takes that tree into play, and that's going to be a little bit trickier.
Pretty tricky approach for the 3. What are you throwing here?
There's a Thunderbird.
The old snowflake.
Yeah, hoping to get more left than I did, but it got left enough to where I'll have an upshot to the basket. Here's Kevin.
Still have some meat on the bone from back here.
Yeah, the path on the left there kind of cinches up towards the basket, and we got this OB creek on the right side. So definitely some danger approaching this pin, but it's in such a bowl that you're given a little forgiveness. I'm taking a zone here. It's ripping tailwind, so unfortunately I put just too much air under it, and it leaks left, skips over the path, and I'm going to be out of bounds again. Just another mistake. Brian from the out of bounds tee shot drops it in there very nicely.
Pretty solid approach.
Yeah, should save the par. Here's your Conrad.
Throwing the Conrad.
Oh yeah.
It's getting close.
Gets the thumbs up. That Conrad is really tacky. Doesn't like to go anywhere once it hits the ground. Crabtree's drive got way up there. So here's Kevin. You can see that path on the left. That's where I went out of bounds. Gonna take the par, but at this point, pars don't really do me any good when Brian and Kyle are picking up birdie after birdie. Including yourself here.
Yeah, I'm kind of on a little tear.
About 15 feet for a turkey.
To get something going. Or at least give myself an opportunity to come back. And, giving the crowd some more love.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, at this point, birdies are just keeping pace, you know. As part of the course is the place where you need to be getting those birdies. Brian plays the hole in 3 strokes, but going to take a 4 with that OB drive that rolled away. So Kyle and you picking up some strokes.
Is Kyle on a knee? It's hard to tell.
I don't think so. He gets really down low on his putting stance. I don't know if that's just a wind thing or if that's kind of his routine, but if it goes in, that's all that matters. This Crabtree gets a stroke back to within 2. Really just trying to apply a little bit of pressure on Brian here, who's standing alone at the top.
Hole 12, 255 feet. Kind of the play is just a mid-hyzer or, an overstable fairway. You do have the parking lot that is to the right, but I don't feel like it really came into play. You just got to get around the one big tree and just let her skip close.
Yeah, I think once you hit this gap on the right angle, very rarely do you get all the way to the parking lot. Brian's showing us something new.
Crazy local route that was like just right of the left of the tee pad, this skinny window, and hits it.
Yeah, he threw it right at the basket, basically. He's going to have a putt, but I think he didn't get as much ground play as he wanted.
Kevin parking it.
Basing the hole. I'm throwing my mortar. It's kind of a swirling left to right here. So it doesn't help the hyzer play, but I get a nice skip. I'm going to be right around the circle's edge.
Brian from 25.
Oh, it drops on him.
The wind got a hold of that one.
I finally connect on the putt. I didn't exactly like it out of my hand. I think I'm just frustrated.
XD.
Yep.
Fluttered in.
And that KC didn't flutter in. That was jammed in there. Giving some love. And that's 4 in a row for you.
Waving to the non-existent crowd out there. Keeping the spirits going. Having fun. Kyle out here with the sunshade.
It was hot, man. It was hot out there, so the whole card gets a stroke on Brian. Crabtree just right on his heels now. 20 under par. Kevin's at 18, you're at 17, and I'm way down there at 12. 13, another double mando hole. This one's so close to the tee, you don't really even notice it, but...
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. Am I hitting a car? Almost. Almost took out the Jimmy.
So this hole, if I remember right, it was a tough left to right wind. The wind today was not coming off the river, which is kind of rare. But you exposed that bottom of the flight plate and the wind just flung it into the road, out of bounds. Kyle taking the backhand, throws it into that ditch, which is about 40 short of the hole. Kevin, pretty sure that
flipped it over.
Pretty sure that was a force, and man, even the force flipping over in this wind.
Almost took the caddy out.
Yep.
This was one throw that I wish I could take back and just throw it back in.
Yeah, the wind today really makes the forehand hard. I'm taking a backhand and I nick something on that tree. Just puts me into the middle of the fairway, but it's gonna be kind of tricky from there. Brian just punching a forehand, and again, look at that flip up and ride.
So smooth.
So smooth. Basically showing me the kind of line that I should be throwing as a lefty, which is just crazy.
There was a creek in here, but they played as casual. Mm-hmm. So it must be like a winter thing maybe, that if it fills up.
Kevin with a ninth approach shot. I'm left with this little gap that I have to hit. I was hoping to just sit right by the basket. Should be fine from there.
Maybe make something.
Oh, wow, look at that wind.
Look at the wind.
Just slaps it down. Here's Brian in that ditch. And that's only about 40 feet, and you can see he just lays it up.
Just laying up. Kyle's giving it a run.
Oh. Great effort from Kyle. This is such a tough putt to trust the putter in this wind.
XD about knocked over the basket.
Yeah, at this point, I'm left to just jam him in there and hope I'm shooting straight. Same with Kevin. He's going to tap in the bogey. This hole was playing tough today. I'm not sure. Probably didn't see a whole lot of birdies on this one.
Giving her some love. Trying to give her some love.
Yep. Pars for our two front runners. I feel like that's a respectable score on that hole.
With that wind, I would say, for sure.
Yeah. We're going to get into a tough stretch here, but first, a little word from our sponsors.
This video is brought to you by Resistance Discs. Head over to resistancediscs.com and use code CHSports at checkout to get free shipping on any order over $25. Thank you to resistancediscs.com, and let's get back to the video.
All right. Hole 14. Yeah, tell us about this one, James.
The first of the bay holes. Water to your right. OB left on the road. Pretty much try to land on this little airplane strip of grass without going into the trees on the right. And then the hole sits up kind of like on a little point that the wind can really do some wonders to it if you get a little off.
Yeah, this stretch of bay holes was super cool. Definitely probably my favorite part of the track is Kevin Mann gets a little air bounce at the end and glides into the street out of bounds.
You know what was crazy is that the cars, you know, they knew what was going on. They didn't run them over. They swerved out of the way, and it was crazy to me. Because usually you just see the ongoing park people. They just drive over it.
Yeah. Kyle flipped over his tee shot and actually just kind of cruised into the water, so he's left with a really tough up and down that I believe went out of bounds left across the road. So he's going to be playing 5 from up near the basket. Brian with just a safe pitch up. You are kind of obstructed. Throwing the Conrad. And
I thought it would hyzer out, and it did not. OB.
Into the water, man. You hate to see that.
Especially the Conrad. You're laying up.
I'm laying up.
Trying to at least.
Not doing a good job again. Just gets away from me. It's a upshot that you have to hit short of the basket. But I'll have a putt. It's just not going to be as easy as I liked. Kevin after the OB and doesn't like it out of his hand. It's going to be down there.
Double OB. And with this win, I mean, it's definitely there. I mean, Kyle went out twice. I mean, this is a tough start of what the bay holes are like.
Yeah, Brian not really needing to run that. Gives it a kind of a half bid. You're trying to save the par, but it's a good effort from down there into the headwind.
I thought it would do one of those off the top and come back in with the wind.
Yeah. Kevin showing me that there's some headwind. Gonna lift the putter, and there's that headwind. I vividly remember throwing my putter at the cage on that putt and still just soaring
skyrocket
right over the top. And at that point, man, I'm just like, what can I do? But Brian, just chugging along, playing his game. Par on this hole is just fine at this point. He's going to be getting some strokes back on the people chasing him. Kevin is putting right back at the water here. Oh, nice and committed.
Great putt.
Takes a lot of guts to really power up a putter like that when you know if you're off at all, it's going right into that water.
And putting on a Mach 2.
Yeah, that doesn't do us any favors.
This definitely does not do us any favors.
As you see, I'm just forced to jam it in there. I don't know, I was probably about 20 feet, and that doesn't feel very comfortable for me right now. But take a par. Move on to the next one as the hole kind of chews up our lead group.
Not what I wanted, that's for sure. Back-to-back bogeys.
Yep. So, Brian and I take the pars. The rest are going to lose some strokes. hole 15, par 4. This was a really cool hole. You're throwing over probably 250, maybe 300 feet of water into that field. It's only 474 as that basket's in between those two trees up there.
It's definitely reachable. It's definitely reachable.
It's there.
On how guts you want to get.
But Brian and I aren't playing the gutsy shot. We're just pitching up, hoping to take the easy birdie. I know at this point I need every birdie I can get just to try to get back under par here. Kevin, nice and flat, stable. I think that's that blue force again.
Nice and safe.
I know you told me.
I took a little...
No, you told me you're going for this one today.
I eagled it the first round, so I was like, you know what? I just double bogeyed. What's the worst can happen? Throw right into the water.
And again, kind of a similar mistake as earlier. You just didn't quite get the height. That had easily enough power to get to the basket.
Kyle playing kind of a flex shot. Get down there for maybe an eagle putt.
That's in his range, you know. He's probably right on circle two's edge. Here's the drop zone. You basically just advance all the way up, pitching up. Should be able to save a par from there. Brian Cook.
Another textbook.
Yeah, the first of our layups. Puts it under the basket. I'm trying to do the same. Don't want any funny business on these Mach 2s.
Kevin kind of giving a little bit.
Yeah, and here's Kyle. He's probably thinking a little.
I think he wants to run it.
Yeah,
I think he wants to run it.
Give
it some kind of a
bid.
Whew. Oh.
Right in front of it. And here you are for par. Oh, well.
Oh. Mach 2. Oh, we get a replay.
Oh, gosh. Right on the tape. It couldn't have been a better putt.
It couldn't have been a better putt.
Oh,
Dead
man.
center pole, Mach 2.
Ugh, and that was for your par too, so now you're bogeying.
Putting a little thought in people's heads now.
Yeah, for sure.
Look at the wind.
Yep. Right on the water here, definitely windy. Anything could happen on these baskets, but Brian gets it in there.
Solid birdie.
Yep. Just
motoring on through.
It's tough to make up ground when he's just chugging along, but it's also tough to make up ground when I'm well over par on this stretch of the course. But able to salvage a birdie on this par 4. Everybody else taps in, and I'm going to take a really just ill-timed bogey there, and that's 3 in a row for you after a pretty solid front 9.
I had a great start going, or a great front 9, and
yep. So you and I fallen pretty far back out of it, and now it's just a race between Brian and Kyle currently.
Hole 16, pretty straightforward. I mean, it was straight shot. You have the water in the back, obviously the river on the right with there was that tree to the right that kind of would catch if you held it a little too straight and didn't hyzer. But other than that, pretty straightforward.
Yeah, really nothing in the way here. It's just a straight 350-foot shot, and I decided to grip over my mid-range and throw it into that exact bush you're talking about, which pretty much plays as an OB. It's so thick. If you get caught in the middle of that, you're having a really tough time throwing your disc forward. So see what I can do.
Kyle kind of hyzered out a little bit.
Yeah. And after watching you guys throw, I immediately regretted throwing a mid-range. This wind is just a little too strong. There's no reason to... Yeah, you
threw a little too stable of a Thundy.
Yeah, but
Probably
even out there,
the
you know,
T-bird.
you're giving yourself an opportunity for the birdie, whereas I'm buried in here doing like
in jail, in the sticky trees.
Yeah, a little back to the basket. Don't have really much room to swing my arm, and having a 35-foot putt for par on this hole just...
Kevin running it. Oh.
This is a scary putt.
Not running this.
One of those half goes, give it some air time, maybe.
If I accidentally gave it a little too much gusto, it might go in.
Oh, Kyle.
Kyle doing the same thing. Wow. He got a little more aggressive.
Yep. And I'm staring right at that water, and man, just another bogey for myself.
Brian for bird.
Brian. Well, uncharacteristic there. He's been pretty solid on the green, but yeah, that water's staring right at us. This basket is no more than 10 feet from that edge, but you do have kind of maybe another 10 feet of just rocks before you get into the water, so it's not a straight cliff, but it drops off pretty quick.
Brian on the rocks.
Oh, man, yeah, pretty straightforward hole like you were saying, but no birdies on the hole, and I'm gonna take...
Not a gimme birdie though.
Yeah, I'm gonna take another bogey. I bogeyed that hole both rounds, and that is just...
Oh, you did?
Not what you're looking for. Yep, I threw into that tree both rounds, so...
You were super familiar with that.
Take another step back. Thought I got off the struggle bus, but I'm right back on it. And it's into hole 17, the last of the bay holes. Pretty similar to the first one. We're playing along the road, and you have this strip of grass that you're throwing into. This one's a little longer at 675 though.
Kevin gets an unlucky kick.
Yeah, finds the road off the tee. Brian put his shot right in the middle. Kyle trying to do the same thing. That was way down there.
I'd say textbook on that.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to go for this forehand hyzer, but it slips out of my hand and in the middle of the fairway, I guess.
Yeah, decent reaction. That forehand gap definitely is a solid line for us righties. We didn't get to practice it, so I'm sticking to the game plan, trying to go up the middle, and I barely stay in bounce. You are from further back, and
oh boy,
yeah, that came out well early and high.
Super early, high, not what you want.
That tree saves you though. I don't know. I don't think you.
Yeah, I was going OB if that tree didn't. If that tree didn't give me some love, I was going OB for sure. It actually stuck in the tree.
Kevin.
Oh, Kevin.
Yep. The OB line, I'm pretty sure for all the holes, is the furthest right painted white line. So Kevin squeaks over it. Double OB, gonna be putting for 5. Brian asking for a skip.
One of the first backhands we've seen from Brian.
Yeah, that was great. Hits that sign. I'm following Brian's line. And
what
man,
are you forehanding there?
That's one of those new Heimberg destroyers, just super beefy. I can throw it really as hard as I want, and it's going to go only in one direction, but I don't get any ground play there, so I'm left with about 30 feet. Kyle with a beautiful turn.
Kyle almost putting it in the hole.
Yeah.
Yep, there's the old ape.
Old ape up in the tree, and you still got what, 350 to the pin?
Easily.
Yeah, it's pretty far back here.
I'm saying the ape didn't work. I'm going to use an X-Cal at this point.
Yeah, that'll work just fine. You skipped a little past the basket, but on the dance floor.
Kevin.
Yeah. Unfortunate hole for Kevin. Going double OB. There's Brian's. Oh, look at that. It's Brian's Heimberg Destroyer, and I'm just a couple feet in front of him with the same disc.
Twinsies. Oh. Brian almost getting a birdie.
Oh, there we go.
There we go.
Yeah, I was frustrated that we left with a 30-foot putt, but if you just put it in the chains.
Turning the bogey around, getting a birdie. Kyle with the birdie. Solid play. I would say he played that hole probably the nicest I've seen someone play
this
that
hole is tough. It really cinches up on that second shot, and it's at 675. It's a true two-shot hole, so a birdie feels good here. But Brian
going backhand too.
Mm-hmm. But Brian takes his par, which is just fine at this point. You're also saving the par.
Hardest par I've ever gotten. I think I even said it.
So a battle at the top between Brian and Kyle, and the rest of us, man, we're struggling.
Struggle busing, for sure. Hole 18.
This was a tough hole.
420. There was this like painted line on the sidewalk or the gravel path.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say it was just a straight shot, have something finished right, or there was a forehand that you can kind of just play safe. Brian smashing a forehand.
Yeah.
Kind of leaks right.
Yeah, so we got that right to left wind here, and this hole plays pretty uphill, so it's a crush to get to the basket here. I know you're wailing on this forehand to try and get there. And
oh boy!
Immediately the wind just takes it, pushes it into that tree, and you are out of bounds pretty early.
Way early. That was an oh boy moment. This hole, it was fun. Kevin, oh.
Yeah, I feel like that's a more common result than otherwise, because that tree, you got to throw it hard, and that tree is right.
It was pretty close.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty close. Like you almost had to flex something just to get around it.
Yep. So you and Kevin trying to put these close. And yeah, here's Kyle. Kind of a low drive from Kyle, but even that, he's left with about 80 feet. Cook got all the way to pin high, but yeah, just
pretty low ceiling putt to give it that much distance. Pretty tough.
I thought I got.
You had a decent look.
Yeah, I thought I got close in that, but was still left with about 40, and putter is just not connecting right now. Unfortunate bogey for Kevin.
Figuring out who's out.
Yep, both Kyle and I maybe with a little meat left on the bone. You can see that tree right behind him shaking. It's just a constant
dead center.
Yeah, it's just a constant 10 to 15 mile an hour winds, but it's just enough to feel it, kind of make you think twice. Colin and I,
great par.
Yeah, walking away with pars. That's your typical score on this hole.
It's no gimme, that's for sure. I don't think this is a gimme hole. Oh,
Maybe a little rush on that one.
can it get any worse?
Yeah, we are not showing up with our A game today. Brian sees that and says, I'll take a little extra time.
Bam.
Tap in the par.
Great par. There's Marty in the background.
There he
There's
is.
his dad. The legend. Making it on coverage.
So through 18 holes, it is a race between Brian Cook and Kyle Crabtree. The rest of us, man, we're just going to try and piece together a round here on the scoreable back nine.
At this point, the chase card was kind of coming up.
Yep. Yeah.
Hey guys, Colin here with CH Sports. I just wanted to give a huge shout out to my coverage sponsors. These videos would not be able to come to life without these people's help, so I really appreciate it. There's plans starting as low as $3 a month, and every single dollar helps grow the channel. If you would like to see your name or business listed in the credits of every single one of my videos, please head over to patreon.com/chsports.